Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo and you've tuned in to another live or recorded edition that was streamed live of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of not just the news but answers that you can use, like an answer to the question, Chris, why is your upper lip glistening? Diana could answer that question. Apparently I have an errant piece of glitter somewhere there that was pointed out in the live streaming of my review of Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. Full of spoilers, sorry, all you supernomies who watched that as an exclusive. I didn't warn you well enough ahead of time. I apologize. Carlos, please forgive me. I didn't realize that that was going to be a thing. I figured a lot of people had seen it by now, but I'm wrong, I know, and that's okay. I've been wrong before, happy to be wrong again. Like being wrong enough to wear a white t-shirt, which I generally do not do during these broadcasts, if only because... Well, number one, I'm extremely white, but it really doesn't play well with the white balance on the camera, specifically because it's just so bright. Or I guess the contrast or the brightness. What's the setting? Not white balance. There's a setting where my shirt looks completely blown out. That. And so I'm wearing a t-shirt right now, this white t-shirt, because this is what I was wearing last night with a tuxedo over it. And many of you saw my tweet this morning. Tied to the MCU, I officiated a wedding, and very happy to do so. I wrote the ceremony myself. Very, very happy to have done that. I've got that ceremony right here. I'm planning on reciting it, even though you're not going to see the wedding video. I think I'm going to have an audio recording of that. But what I'm going to do, since Diana couldn't really be there, like down in the pit of sorts, I'm not planning on being there immediately. Or she went. Sorry. I look at my watch because it notifies me that I've got a calendar appointment and I think I can't be there right now. And that's exactly what I say. Diana couldn't be in the wedding area because Jedi was with us and she started to get fussy. So she could hear certain things with me in the microphone. But I thought what I'd do is read this to Diana and then see, how she reacted to the full-on, wedding script. That I stuck to mostly, and people had a lot of fun with it. It was the nerdiest or geekiest wedding ceremony that I think a lot of the people who came to it had ever heard. One person who apparently was a journalist at one point, he says, that was really good writing. He said it was done very well. So I was happy to hear that from a fellow writer. He appreciated how I constructed the ceremony. And, of course, all the nerds and geeks loved all the references that I made. If I were to write a wedding ceremony for somebody else, this is how I would have chosen to have written it. I'd like to be able to do something like this as a gig, part-time, side show gig. But the thing is that I have to know the people that I'm actually, connecting. Although I could probably write something generically enough, like a very geeky, nerdy. If I knew what fandoms they were into, I could work the speech. What do you call this? The commencement around it. Anyway, I am a nerdy, geeky officiant. This is what I do. I'm an efficient officiant. It's only like 10 minutes long. Well, my part, I think. When I timed it, it was about 10 minutes long. So, okay, today is an AMA. It is Monday, so that means I go to the Facebook thread, even though in every Facebook thread that we initiate, why should I ask you questions? Because you never answer them. And then we have to go in and we say, no, we answer them every week. If you go over to the YouTube channel, we answer many questions. But remember, just because you ask doesn't mean that I'm going to answer. It's ask me anything, not Chris answers everything. Big difference. Over the weekend, I finally posted the electric car Kia Soul EV review. Very happy to have done that. It was a great vehicle. Currently driving the Genesis. Hyundai Genesis. Or Genesis. I'm not really sure how to say it. It's a fancy car. It's a luxury car. So no, we don't call it a Genesis. See, when you're in our class of cars, it's called Genesis. It's a nice car. Spoiler alert there. I'll be reviewing that at some point this week. That video will be posted probably 2 weeks from now or so when it gets edited. What does rain smell like? Glad you asked, because I still have so many of these. I'm just going to go through them right now. This is what I'm going to do. Rain smells... Well, you're going to have to watch that video review posted to my classic channel as a show and tell. I've also got funeral home right here. The funeral home scent. Didn't really like that. Smelled like death. Not so much fun. Tomato smelled a lot like pizza, but more tomatoey, less oregano-y. Dust didn't really smell like dust. I don't know what dust smells like. It didn't make me sneeze. So dust didn't smell like anything. Marshmallow smelled fluffy. I wanted to eat myself after I sprayed myself with marshmallow scent. These scents are all from Demeter. They sent them to me, and I've been trying a variety of them. Some of the video reviews will be posted. Of course, some of these were also included in a geek haul, but I'm just finishing up here. Paperback, just in case you wanted to smell like a book. Diana likes this scent. It does smell like a paperback book. It really does. If you've ever smelled paperback books, it's a thing for some people. So there is a paperback scent. And Irish cream, coffee-ish. Let's see here. I'm just going to go ahead and spray that on now, which is always dangerous to do. Got to be careful. It smells coffee-ish. Creamy coffee. Yeah. That's what it smells like. I'm taking a shower after this broadcast, so I'm not too worried about it. Geeky scents. The most amazing geeky scents on the planet that I've ever found in one collection. They're constantly coming up in new ones. Demeter is the company, and I retweet them on a regular basis when they have specials going on, like 25% off and whatnot. So, Rain, that's what it smells like. It's the Demeter fragrance, from the Demeter fragrance library, the scent. That review's been posted. Also, 28% off, sorry, I gave you a couple extra points there. 26% off is the actual discount of the Orbit Key leather key organizer and bottle opener. If you want the CNET magazine, you can get an exclusive 1-year subscription offer. It's $23 for free at deals.lockergnome.com. And may the 4th be with you. Star Wars Gamer Bundle, 74% off. Deals.lockergnome.com. We also have a Surface 3 giveaway at deals.lockergnome.com. I assume you subscribe and you pay attention to the deals that we're posting to deals.lockergnome.com. And I know this because a lot of the activity that we see around LockerGnome these days on Twitter is largely in relation to the deals that people are getting on deals.lockergnome.com, which is really, really nice to see. Very, very happy to see that. Happy to facilitate those kinds of connections for you. Very, very happy about that. The only thing that I wish we had more of was more activity around the LockerGnome hashtag. I started something last week. We'll see where it goes. If you have a Homer Simpson figure, plastic figure, minifigure, whatever, a Homer Simpson, and you put him in a scene and you tag it LockerGnome, I'm going to be putting together a post of sorts. It's kind of like an aggregation of a Homer away from home. And so far, we've got really good toy photographers submitting their own stuff. Let me click LockerGnome. Let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 submissions. That's pretty cool. You want to be in a blog post. You want to get liked. A lot of people want to do that. Well, you got to do something for it. I don't just blindly like things. I like the things that I like, which is important to do. I mean, if you just like things for the sake of, I can press the button, what's the point? Hope you like the stuff. I really do. I genuinely do. So, anyway, use the LockerGnome hashtag this week with a Homer Simpson figure. If you do not have a Homer Simpsons figure, get one. Your life cannot be complete without, to me, in my opinion, it's a very humble opinion, you need a Homer Simpsons figure. Easy to do. So, AMA. Liz, you asked a question that I'm not going to answer. Sorry, Liz. Ted Cossett asks, let's see if I can ask one if you've never been asked. What is your favorite candy bar? Mine is currently Kit Kat dark chocolate version. I've probably been asked that question before. I don't know if I have a favorite. I like Crunch. I love dark chocolate. The richer, the better. I tend not to like American-made chocolate. That tends to be a bit more waxy. I like chocolate that melts in your hand. But I don't know if I have a favorite. I don't have a go-to chocolate bar. I don't really have a go-to sweet. It's just not really my thing. In fact, today, it was funny. I had posted the bacon mustard review to my classic channel. It's kind of a taste. And the company that Beaver, was it Beaver something? Hang on, I'll get it. Beaver brand. They have Beaver brand cheeses. Sorry, not beaver cheese. I'm thinking a Monty Python sketch there. Mustards. And they saw my review, and I didn't like their bacon mustard. It wasn't for me. I tend to like the Dijon types of mustards more than anything. Yellow mustard, not at all. I do not like yellow mustard. Blech. Deli mustard, it's passable. Dijon, my favorite. I like hot mustard too, which is more like horseradish these days. So, they tweeted me. It was kind of cool that they tweeted me this morning. I had to point that out. So they may be sending me another one of their mustards to redeem their brand in the eyes of Chris Pirillo. Not that it matters. I am not a mustard connoisseur. I do like mustard though. People have remarked that they think it's weird that I put mustard on things that they don't think mustard belongs with, like Dijon mustard, like just a regular generic store brand deli or Dijon mustard on rice. I like putting a lot of those flavors with rice because rice, I mean, it has a flavor, but it's relatively bland, so it usually takes on the flavor of whatever you put it with. And so I like various sauces, and so I'll go that. So the same way with chocolate. I don't have a favorite candy bar. I realize it's probably going to shock you, but I really don't. Cosmina! Hey, Cosmina! I don't know. I can't call her Cos, really, because I don't know her that well. She's been very, very helpful in terms of putting things together, helping me put things together, and Liz as well, with various events. She says, with the reviews you're doing, what have you learned about cars? Ah, great question. So, I've learned that, wow, there are major differences between vehicles. I kind of knew this. I've learned that it's it's even more difficult to pick out a car. It's kind of like asking what my favorite candy bar is. What's your favorite car? I don't know. They've all got benefits, right? So I love the technology in cars because it generally makes for a better driving experience. I've learned that it would be very difficult for me to jump into another lease. It'd be even more difficult for me to buy a car. I like turning cars over on a regular basis. Obviously not for profit, for review. It's a lot of fun to try different vehicles. Not as nerve-wracking as I thought it was going to be, and I've only done, 3 or 4 now, and it's been different. I like trying these different vehicles. There are dramatic differences between cars in quality, in execution, and style. It'd be very, very difficult, though, for me to jump into a vehicle and not feel like I'm missing something from another vehicle. You kind of have to go with whatever the manufacturer made. I mean, there may be one package or another that you can add on, but generally speaking, I think what I've learned about cars is that everybody's looking for something different, and I kind of knew that anyway. But as I started speaking through one of my first car reviews, the official car review, what was it? What was the first car review? I can't even remember. Lancer? Was that it? I didn't realize that so many people liked certain things, and car enthusiasts are looking for something completely different. And I think more than anything, less about the cars, more about the people. Most people are like me. I'm not a nerd. I'm not a geek when it comes to cars. I don't care. I mean, I care, but is it a good car? Is it a good experience? And what I learned is that a lot more people are like me when it comes to cars than car geeks and car enthusiasts. So I've approached the reviews the same way, very much, average person, getting from point A to point B, what I liked, what I didn't like, who I thought it was for, not selling anything, so to speak. It was kind of nice to see that other people were very receptive to that. So I appreciate, and what I learned most about cars was that my approach to vehicles seems to be the general consumer's approach to vehicles too. That's the one thing that I learned. Steve Swarbrick asks a question. He's asking about if I'm going to participate in some other shows. Sure, it's a possibility. That I know of. The email has not come in. I'm not the kind of person who says, "Hey, can I be on your show?" That's a little rude. So yeah, I'm here. I'm always happy to do shows if I think they can fit in. I can't do a lot, if only because I do get a lot of invitations, and I usually do take advantage of invitations. But I'm open. I'm open for just about anything, or at least given the opportunity, I balance it and say, yeah, I could possibly do it. Sure, why not? Oscar Roque asks if you were given a choice between owning all available Lego minifigs versus all available Darth Vader action figures, which would you choose? Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. So we're talking Lego minifigures, which I love, and Darth Vader stuff, which I love. I'm going to go with all available Lego minifigures. That may shock you, but I really would. I'm fascinated with the minifigure. I've always liked the minifigure. I like Darth Vader stuff, absolutely. But generally speaking, you got a certain amount of variations, but not as much variations as you might find within Lego minifigures, or certainly that universe. So I'm going to go with Lego minifigures. Oscar, does that shock you? I bet you a lot of people thought I was going to say Darth Vader there. I'm guessing. That's a complete guess. Andrew Cassabaum asks if you could have been the inventor of one of the technology we use today, which one would it be? Oh, inventor of a technology. I'm not inventorly inclined. I'd want to do something that's transformative. And I think wireless is transformative in more ways than one. Wireless technology. So some kind of wireless technology that would have, just changed the world. Because wireless, as far as I'm concerned, changed the world in such a dramatic way. No longer being tethered to a desk or an outlet to get things done. That's pretty powerful. Wireless electricity is coming down the pike. I know it's happening soon. We've already seen tests, very limited exposure in terms of what they've been able to do at this point, and very limited range. But I think that's going to be one of those transformative technologies. So that to me is exciting. Seeing a lot of the wireless stuff that's happening. Thread Lamont asks, "Hey Chris, who at Apple do you like most?" I don't know. I mean, I know a few people who work at Apple. I like them, of course. But in terms of the people that I don't necessarily know, I like Craig Federighi. I love his stage presence. Very, very on stage. He seems very warm, very friendly, very approachable. Craig is my favorite. If I had a favorite Apple employee who I do not know, Craig is it. If you've ever seen him in an Apple keynote, you'd understand why. He's fun. I like that. I like fun people. Lokesh Goyal asks, when World War III going to happen? Never. Justin Lacerdo asks, can I adopt Wicket? No, Justin, you cannot. Jason Scott Page asks, is the moon our Death Star? It could very well be. That is a possibility. If it blows us up, I will be very, very sad. I don't know. Is the moon on scale the same size as the Death Star? Someone's probably done a comparison between the scale of the Death Star in the movies, both the first one and the second Death Star, and our moon. I don't know. I hope not, though. Jerome Jefferson Bergonio? Apple, Windows, or Linux, and why? Oh, Jerome, I'm going to have to school you. One's a company, one's a platform, and one's an operating system. Well, I guess the operating system could be a platform, but really, it's not even. This is not even a good question. It's a good. I mean, it's a valid question in the sense that you're asking it. You're a valid person, and I appreciate you taking the time to ask. But this is indicative of the kind of question that unfortunately I have to face on a daily basis, and it's not even a question I can answer. One's a company, one's an operating system, one's a platform. So I don't know. What do you want to do? Trebor Kared Gnol, or is it Knoll? I don't know if the G's silent. Anything as a question, not a response to the question, you're welcome. Okay. Renee Aravalo asks, what is your favorite city in Washington? I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm a little biased, though. Tony Yoon asks, question number 45. Do you believe that wearable tech is one step closer to the whole RFID chip conspiracy theory? Well, I think as long as we have brain cells, we're always going to have conspiracy theories. Yeah, I think wearable tech is going to become more and more invisible. It's going to become more and more indispensable. And I don't just mean in terms of sewn into our skin in some way, shape, or form. But could you get along without technology today? I'd be surprised if you said yes. This is something that once you start living, not just with wearable tech like this very, very invasive, clunky Apple Watch, but, where are we headed with that? And I know some people say, what, are you saying the Apple Watch is clunky? All smartwatches, hell, as far as I'm concerned, all watches are clunky. They're invasive. They're not svelte at all. They're svelte-ish. But as far as I'm concerned, it's invasive. This type of technology is invasive. Even contact lenses, as much as they may be invisible to our eyes, whether they're in our eyes or we perceive them in somebody else's eyes, they're still invasive. And, as we move forward, we're going to find a lot of that technology just melting away and becoming a part of our life pervasively. So does that mean we're going to have a chip? It's a possibility. Yeah, it is a possibility. I don't know if I really want that. is a little scary to think about. But then again, to a certain degree, there are some people out there who say, I don't want self-driving cars, it's scary. Some people out there who don't want the internet, it's scary. So are we just parts of these last generations who just don't see that technology as welcome in our lives? So I think it's one step closer, absolutely. But I would be remiss if I said that I wanted that kind of future. I want to be a cyborg, no doubt about it. Although technology is very scary, I understand and I respect technology. A lot of people don't. They abuse the tool, and I think that's what scares me most about technology. At this stage, not the technology itself. AI is certainly, I think, happening sooner rather than later. But when it comes to technology, people scare me more than tech, and tech scares me a lot. I want to have the ability to remove something. So to me, if I were to wear a patch or wear something small to be able to remove it, I think would still be something that I'd want. Something that would be, not very invasive. Put a little patch, just a little tiny thing, put a patch on underneath the arm, leg, whatever, foot, whatever. It's connected to me in some way, and then I have all these powers. Awesome. I think we are going to reach the time when we can swallow a pill and suddenly understand life, the universe, and everything. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. This is inside our head. It's just electrical impulses. It's a computer inside our head. This is a computer. We'll crack the code eventually. Give us enough time. In my lifetime, possibly not. But I'm very much looking forward to that day. If only because, we will have to evolve as a species. And I think civilization needs to evolve to the point where instead of worrying about how to pay the bills, we're worrying about other things. Where this world can operate as one world, one global society. And I think that's only going to happen when we recognize that we're not alone in the universe. Can I prove it? No. Are there a lot of conspiracy theories around it? Absolutely. But I just feel we're not alone. The universe is just too big. Too many things we don't understand. And so for technology to go that direction, and for us to take what we have, this human condition as a computer, ourselves, and make it better, are we making ourselves better for the sake of making ourselves better, or what are we making ourselves better for? And so if we can answer that question, then I think it's a step in the right direction with becoming a cyborg or melting technology within the human condition. But we really have to learn how to answer that question, or people in general have to stop learning how to abuse technology. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. If there's a technology, someone's going to abuse it. It just takes one person to ruin it for the rest of the world. Honestly, one person who likely lacks any degree of humanity. There were people who were abusing recently the Google tool for Google Maps, and Google pulled the tool because they were abusing it. So this tool that could have been used amazingly well to make the world a better place, a few people abused it. So everybody loses the privilege. Again, people abuse technology, and I think that is technology's biggest downfall is people. Not only is it the case that some people don't know how to design technology to be used. That's one problem. The other problem comes in when technology's there and it's abused. Yeah, some people have different perspectives on the use of technology, but that's the thing that would scare me the most about RFID is the abuse of technology by humanity, not technology itself. But I've said it before. I want to be a cyborg. Sign me up. I'd be happy to do something like that, so long as I knew that my technology was not going to be abused. Chris Gruber asks, have you been following virtual reality recently? Yeah, kind of. If so, do you plan on getting new VR hardware? Ha, no. He says, I've had the Omni on pre-order since 2013. Not here yet. And the final Rift comes out next year. The DK1 and 2 were mind-blowing. So yeah, VR is going far. Yeah, but still kind of gimmicky to me. I've tried it before. I've had a good experience with it. The Oculus Rift that I tried, that video I think is in my classic channel. Tried that a few years ago. The second time I used it in one of those moving platform things, I got car sick or motion sickness. If they can solve that problem, sure, but I put VR squarely within the gimmicky realm. It's gimmicky. I think a lot of people like it. I think a lot of people enjoy it. I think it's very, very immersive, but it's clunky. It's expensive. It's buggy. And even if you can find a cheap, quote unquote, cheap VR experience, it ain't going to be good. So, yeah, I'm following it. I'm watching it, like, from a distance. But yeah. 10 years down the line, maybe. Right now, still squarely within the gimmicky realm. It's my opinion. Hey, if you like it, that's awesome. You want to spend your money on it? Far be it for me to say what you can't spend your money on, but not me. No way I'd plunk down money on it. Unless I saw something in person and knew where I could fit it in a general, lifestyle fashion. I think the HoloLens looks fascinating, but we've yet to hear a price on it. I'd like to be able to see a day where we could have real-time manipulation of virtual objects in such a way that we're not compromising our own health. It's fun. It's fascinating. It's interesting. It's immersive. But at this stage, I just find it to be still kind of out there, honestly. And I know a lot of geeks and nerds are, oh, what are you saying? VR is awesome. It's cool. But it ain't there yet. So everything I've seen, it screams, it ain't there yet. It's getting there. Very excited about where it's going. Very, very, very excited about where it's going. But to me, it'll be there when this lightweight pair of glasses here. See this lightweight pair of glasses. That's when virtual reality sets in. Something like this. Very lightweight, unobtrusive, simple. And see, imagine if I'm able to put these glasses on, suddenly have my heads-up display, and then virtual reality instantaneously, and it's not overheating, and it's not, needing to be charged up, and it's not, bulky, and it's not something where if someone saw it, they'd freak out. That is when I get excited about virtual reality. But we're not there yet. I know. I'm an average consumer. Fault me for that. Singularity, asks Tim Hested. Hasted? Yeah, we're kind of talking around the singularity, and it will happen. I'm excited for when it will happen, and I hope that we are ready for it. And I think that's the thing that is scariest, knowing that computers and our use of technology can give us the ability to supplant our humanity. What do we lose? And I think we have that problem now with the internet. A lot of people forget that they're human. And a lot of people forget that they're dealing with other humans. They abuse technology, and they use it to hurt. They use it to attack. They use it to destroy. And that, to me, is a gross abuse of technology. This is one of the sad things about the state of humanity with technology today. It's gross. It's repulsive. It's reprehensible. If you use technology to destroy, you don't understand technology. You don't understand the power of technology. You're using it as a weapon. Even if you use it as a threat, it's sad. It's pathetic. And the people who do that, I can't abide by it. Not a fan. And I think, the closer we get to the singularity, it's something that we have to, we don't just have to think about it more and more. We have to accommodate it, because it is going to happen. And honestly, the machines could probably rule the world better than humans can. Gonna say it. Not to say that it should happen. I'm not a machine apologist. Obviously, they're nowhere near that right now. But it's something that it concerns me. I see a lot of people who lack the emotional maturity to be able to handle the tools at their disposal. It's a tool, just like a hammer is a tool, just like a screwdriver is a tool. VR headsets are a tool. Computers are a tool. Video cameras are a tool. Are you using that tool to build, or are you using it to destroy? That choice is up to you, not the tool. So the humanity, that human aspect of technology, I still think, and I'm going to say this, likely forever. This is why I don't geek out over gadgets as much as other people do. I'm like, it's a gadget. It's a tool. How are you going to use it? How is this camera that you're holding on to, how is this camera going to transform the world? How are you going to use this to build? How are you going to power and harness, or take that power, harness that technology, and do something with it that isn't destructive? Answer that question for me. That's really That's something that I know a lot of people who listen to me talk don't like hearing me talk about necessarily, because they want me to hear about, or they want to hear me. They want to hear me talk about, oh, it's a new gadget, it's got this camera, and it's this fast, and it's got flappity dippity, and it's... I'm answering a question later this week, and this is something for the supernomies, the patrons. Has the Apple Watch changed my lifestyle? This is a very important question to ask. A question that I don't see a lot of people addressing. Technology for the sake of technology is boring to me. It is very boring. It's there. I'm like, but what does it do? What does this mean? How does it not just work, but how does this transform? Does it move the ball forward? So that's the question I'm answering this Friday, I believe. Has the Apple Watch changed your lifestyle? Going to be answering that later this week as a patron exclusive. I have the answer right now. It's in my head, but I'll share it then. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for answering the call to ask me anything. Thank you for listening to me answer the questions I did have time for today. I am going to roll in to the Patron Hangout. We do that every weekday. I believe today's topic is Geeky Weekend Entertainment. That's the general Monday topic. And I will probably dive a little deeper into the Avengers 2 Age of Ultron movie, getting a take on what people think. Although I guess I can't. That's what I want to talk about, but the supernomies who tuned in for the review of that movie just an hour or so ago, a lot of them haven't seen it yet. So I think what I'm going to do today for the Hangout, this is what you get in the Hangout. This is going to go in the vlog, but I think I'm going to read the manuscript. What do I call the wedding ceremony? I'm going to read the wedding ceremony in the Hangout. That was the Geeky Weekend Entertainment for me. Wrote this myself. It'll be going in a future Pirillo vlog that we maybe or likely will be recording today, so everybody will have a chance to hear it. Very, very geeky, very nerdy, written by myself, ran through and read by, or I mean, they read it before the ceremony, both Justin and Liana, who I married this weekend. I'd be happy to do that again. I mean, not just married them, but I'd marry other people. It's kind of fun. It was fascinating. I'd have to get to know them, but I'd be happy to be an officiant. I mean, certainly in the Seattle area. I don't know if I'd necessarily travel to do it. But if I did it, what I would do is I would dress up as Dark Helmet. So I'd get a Dark Helmet cosplay and cosplay as Dark Helmet and officiate a wedding. But it would be specifically geeky and nerdy weddings. Weddings happen all the time. Geeks and nerds get married all the time. But I'd have to do it in like Dark Helmet. Because it'd have to be very, very comfortable for me and very, very fun. So, there you go. I'm putting it out there. I will officiate Seattle area weddings, geeky and nerdy wedding style. Wearing a tie, I mean, I know Dark Helmet wears a tie, but bear with me. I'd do it again. It was a blast. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you for caring. Thank you to all my supporters out there, whether you were one of my patrons or not. I appreciate you. I love you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.